So yesterday, the Life and Death reveal trailer dropped, and when I went ahead to go and read the description for the pack, I was getting the 404 error. It wasn't up yet, or maybe it was up and then taken down, so I didn't go through everything. Since then, I've read through stuff, and oh my goodness, I am beyond excited. So I've kind of gathered some things that are coming with Life and Death, and I wanted to share them with you guys today. If you plan on purchasing The Sims 4 Life and Death or any of the Sims 4 packs, you can use my code FANTAYZIA on the EA app or thesims.com. This does directly support me and my channel, so I really do appreciate those of you guys who use my code. So starting off with the basic stuff, of course, as we found out in the trailer, you will get an early purchase incentive. If you buy the pack by December 12th, you'll get these early pre-order items here, but here is a better look at them. It's this mask, this portrait here, which is the Lasting Legacy family portrait, and then we get a music box. So something I really want to talk about is something that did get me excited when I was watching the trailer with you guys, but we have this new bucket list feature, and you can pretty much build your bucket list by collecting goals throughout your Sims life. It also says starting as a young adult. We also see these two new photos here. I don't believe this is, yeah, these are not in the trailer. And look, there's literally a baby falling from the sky. This is like the rebirth. So this is something you can actually achieve by completing goals. So the items that appear on your list are going to be based on your Sims traits and family relations, but you can also go ahead and choose your own too. So I thought that was really cool. You know, if you don't go ahead and choose your own, your Sims will just get them automatically, but you do have that option to go and choose them, and you can remove them. But completing stuff does give you powerful rewards. So pretty much if your Sim's life ends with items that are still on their list, you're going to be able to devote their afterlife to completing their unfinished business. And then of course, the ultimate reward for completing everything on the list is to be reborn. I think that is so cool. But if you'd like to, you can still choose to move on or remain as a ghost. So I really love that the choice is up to you. I just can't believe they gave us rebirth. So here's another photo that I absolutely love. I just love everything about it. I don't know. And the tombstones look so good. Look at this Sim back here. And then we see the crow. So curious to learn more about this. I feel like they're going to be attached to this thing. It would be really cool if they could fly around everywhere, but I have a feeling they're going to be attached to this. It would be cool though if they could fly around quite a bit. You can see the Sim here has the tarot cards. By the way, quick side note, the day the trailer launched, my package from The Sims arrived, and it was like, it was just a small letter. You guys may have seen it on Twitter and stuff, but they sent out tarot cards. The ones we have been seeing like in the game, they made them for real. I got 3 of them with like a little note, and dude, those tarot cards are incredible. Like the quality of them, I feel like they should sell them as merch. I'm so serious. I feel like they would sell so well. They were just so beautiful. So as we know, we are getting a new career, but we're actually getting 2 new careers. One of them is a rabbit hole, and then the one we are all excited about is the new reaping career. We're going to be able to reap souls, and we're also going to be able to help ghosts. It also mentions dispersing hauntings. And then with the other career, you're going to have the option to become a mortician and deal with death more from the perspective of the living. They also mentioned exploring crypts. I need to know more about this. I don't know. Like originally I was like, oh, is that where the portal leaves you? But then when you Google like what a crypt is, like it's talking about things like underground and stuff. And like, so I think it's different. I'm really curious because it says like you can spend your days exploring crypts, and also it mentions ruins. So one of the new skills is thanatology skill. And then there's a new ghost historian aspiration. We also got to learn a little bit about the pet crow. It does mention pet crow. So this will be your pet. So we're technically getting a new pet. So you can bond with your pet crow, but it does say careful. Provoking it could be deadly. So there is a new death by crows, which is crazy. We're going to be able to collect and read the lost tarot cards of Lady Ravendancer Goth. I'm just like, who is Lady Ravendancer Goth? Is it like from the Goth household or like someone entirely different? I've never heard that name before, I'm going to be honest, but I guess there is lost tarot cards we're going to have to find. They also confirmed that there is a total of 3 new traits. So the next thing I want to talk about is grief. Oh my goodness. So we'll probably go back to talking about this. I know there's a lot of like jumping back and forth, but they're giving a lot of information into different articles basically. So I've kind of just like gathered everything as I was going through things and stuff like that. So grief is going to be a lot more than just, you know, grieving a Sim who has passed. there's going to be more things your Sims can experience grief with. And I was like, okay, this expands my gameplay to a whole other level. So yeah, they're going to experience grief in different ways. And there's 4 types that will tie in with both Sims' personalities and their relationships with the deceased. There's going to be grieving rituals, which are customizable and unscripted, allowing you to hold whatever type of event or events that fits your story. Sims are also going to be able to create wills, which we did see in the trailer. I said inheritance, I think, which is like similar but not entirely the same. And with the wills, that can be used to pass down heirlooms, assign guardians for surviving dependents, distribute their simoleons, and more. I originally thought it was just going to be for the simoleons. I literally thought that that was all the will was going to have, but no, they went all out. Like, what? Assign guardians? Are you joking? Are you kidding me? Like, what? I just would have never expected them to actually go all out with how like a will should be. Sims can also honor the departed with a memorial display featuring their portrait. There's also going to be custom caskets, which I think is really, really cool. So ghosts are basically going to be completely redone. They're going to be so much better. Of course, we already have ghosts in the game, but this is going to be a whole new experience. You can choose your life as a ghost, whether you want to be a ghost who is helping or terrorizing the living. So ghosts will also grow their own abilities, and they can do everything from assisting the household with chores to levitating living Sims and hanging them upside down, which then they may drop simoleons. So their interactions with living can earn them fear or goodwill essences, which can be both sold for simoleons. There's a lot to do after death. Ghosts can even pair up for a special spectral woohoo. Supposedly ghosts can actually woohoo within anything. I don't know if they can also sleep within anything, because I'm going to pull up this screenshot here, but you can see the mailbox is sleeping. And so I feel like there's a ghost in there. And then it looks like there's woohoo happening over here in the barbecue. So yeah, from what it seems like a ghost can kind of get into anything and sleep, woohoo, it doesn't matter the size. And I think that is so cool. You can also see like so many things is happening here. This is like a happy moment, a hugging. This ghost is shaking the Sim upside down and money's falling. This ghost is spooking this Sim here. There's also like the ghost train or whatever in the back there. We're not even done yet. There is still quite a bit more that I want to talk about. So did I mention this already? I don't even know at this point, but the new world is officially called Ravenwood. And when I read that, I was so happy with the name. I think it sounds so good. And then there's 3 distinct neighborhoods. We usually get about 3, so I think that's good. I'm also expecting like 12 lots. I really don't expect more. I feel like they're going to be sticking with that. I'll be surprised if there's even like 1 or 2 extra. So as we mentioned, your Sims are going to have a chance to craft a bucket list, resolve lingering unfinished business in the afterlife, wield new ghostly powers to unleash mayhem, kindness, or something in between, and even undergo a rebirth. So it seems that one of the neighborhoods or like areas, I don't know, is called Crow's Crossing, which is an eerie village rumored to be frequented by ghosts and regular hauntings. Dude, I'm so excited. In this area, there's going to be cobbled roads where you might discover local grave makers. There's also a mysterious merchant peddling an assortment of curios and collectibles. So the graveyards are talked about a little bit, just kind of like basic stuff, how they, you know, if a Sim is feeling the need to, they can go and visit the graveyard and pay respects to the Sims who once walked these roads and may still be doing so. Or they can disappear into a crypt to share a special moment with a lover or tell ghost stories. So this is what I was talking about before with the whole crypt thing. I am like so curious about it. Something that really excited me is we are going to be getting a Ravenwood Family Day and also Crow's Crossing celebration of life festivals, haunted houses, and a ghostly guarded wishing well, which we do see in the trailer. So another area in the world is called Whispering Glen, and this is where there's ruins. There's also rumors there, and it's a paradise for collectors and historians alike. So you can explore the local crypt, investigate the Tarot Tome Shrine at the base of the ruins. You can also garden in the shared community plots or gather collectibles. So each night in the Whispering Glen, they host a local moon festival, and this is where Sims can swim under the moonlight. We saw that in the trailer, and the water just looked insane. Literally stunning. And you can also share stories at the bonfire, and then things do get a little wild during the full moon, and clothing will suddenly become entirely optional. So we're going to be having Sims just streaking. So another area within the world is called Morningvale, and they mentioned that there is something otherworldly there, and there's a bell tower. So you'll hear like an eerie clang from the bell tower at odd hours, and many ghosts will choose to call this area home. I don't know if this is just the other neighborhood or if this is where you can go through in the portal. I don't know. Because it also mentions that the Grim Reaper has been known to wander through here, and then Sims are also going to be able to dip in the water here at the Baleful Bog, which is going to give them an out-of-body experience or transition into rebirth. They also mentioned a thinned festivale, like not festival. It says festivale. But this area is called Morningvale. It specifically says partake in the local customs at the thinned festivale or make peace with their mortality at the Afterlife Anonymous meetup. I just think this whole neighborhood, it does actually say this neighborhood. I really want to know if one of the neighborhoods, to access it, you have to go through the portal. I have like a million questions. So talking a little more about the Sims Souls journey, this is where, you know, they have goals they want to achieve. We talked about it earlier. And then of course with the ultimate reward being the ability to rebirth with the special burning soul trait after their passing. And then pretty much Sims who are reborn can unlock past childhood development skills, traits, and infant milestones. This is so cool to me, but it does also mention depending on the age they come back as. So do you get to choose what age you come back as? It doesn't have to be, you know, I just assumed like, oh, rebirth, you got to come back as an infant, but maybe not. Maybe you get to choose then. So when it comes to the bucket list, there's going to be new interactions on the computer and journal, which will allow Sims to write random goals themselves, write a goal from a category like travel or family, or write a specific goal. So as I mentioned earlier, like they will be randomized if you don't make them based off their traits and stuff. But yeah, you can go in and literally write in a journal to determine what your bucket list is. That is so, so cool to me and also very realistic. So I think something that's going to be so fun with the ghosts is the fact that we're going to be able to play with them now. You know, you're going to be able to choose. You know, for some Sims, leaving life behind is too hard to do. And so you're going to be able to decide as the player if you want to let your Sims linger on as a playable household member. And then you can choose if you want them to wreak havoc on the living or lend a helping hand. It's going to be so fun. And like, you know, so many players who have trouble letting go of their Sims, I feel like this is going to just make the experience better. You don't really have to fully let go of them. Also really love how there's still room to grow in the afterlife. It's not just like you're like a pointless ghost, you know? Ghosts are going to be able to build powers, earn fear or goodwill essences. Like, you know, they're going to have, you know, different interactions and stuff they can do. So we talked about the new careers and how there's going to be 2 of them. They're specifically going to be called the Reaper profession and then the Undertaker career. So the Reaper profession, of course, is playable, and then the Undertaker career is a classic career, which is a rabbit hole. I'm really glad they put both in there. So for the Reaper profession, we kind of already know the idea of it. You're going to be working with Grimm at the Netherworld Department of Death. So is that where you go? I don't know. So Sims in this profession are going to experience Reaper training with the all-around good guy training dummy. So you can practice reaping souls on practice dummies and determine causes of death for reaped souls. This is going to be one of the most fun playable careers, I feel like. And then when you're at higher levels, Sims in this career can even determine which souls they'll reap and which they'll return to life. And then once they're retrieved, souls can be placed in the Netherworld portal to meet the soul quota. Glimturns who meet the soul quote are eligible to become employee of the month. Like, it seems so cool. Like, this doesn't seem real. Can I just say that? This does not seem real. I'm just like, this is too good to be true. So as far as the Undertaker career, of course, a classic career, they're just going to disappear. However, I think it sounds really cool. They're going to be able to do things like grave digging, and then Sims who pursue a career in the funeral industry ensure all Sims can move on in peace. So specializing in this before afterlife care prepares Sims for difficult moments like discussing end of life services or contemplating existence. You'll also get rewarded with a plague mask or Murphy membrane bust or a corpus commendation plaque to honor their achievements. This career has 2 different branches, which is mortician and then funeral director. So as far as traits and all that, aspirations, we're going to be able to experience the Ghost Historian aspiration, unlock horror levels, and receive the Ghost Whisperer reward trait. Visit any lot with the Hallowed Grounds lot trait. So they do list the 3 new traits here. I believe the first trait is Macabe. It's M-A-C-A-B-E. I don't even, what does that even mean? I don't know what that's going to entail. The next one is Chased by Death, and then Skeptic. Then, as I mentioned, there is the new death type, Murder of Crows. That is the official name of it. So a little more on the wills. Sims are going to be able to create the will themselves at the town hall, via the computer, or at the Family Day Festival. We already talked a little bit about what you can actually do with the will, like, you know, the simoleons, assign heirlooms, all that, but there's even more to it. You can leave personal notes, set emotional reactions for loved ones reading the will, specify how you want the remains to be handled, make funeral planning requests, and designate other Sims to care for their pets or children. Not just the children, also pets. So then we have some cross pack gameplay. If the entire household passes away, Sims can choose to donate their simoleons to charity or another known household. So we talked about grief and how it's not just going to be when a Sim passes away. There's going to be a lot more to it. There's actually different grief types, which is denial, holding it together, anger, and blues. So basically the grief type that a Sim receives is going to be based off their traits and also their relationship. So of course, besides death, they're also going to experience grief through tough situations such as a loss of a family member, a close friend, divorce, getting fired from a career, or the loss of a pet, including if you have horse ranch too. So horse ranch, cats and dogs, all of that is gonna trigger grief. And then when Sims are experiencing grief, they can reach out for help from other Sims, and they can also attend grief counseling. So they're gonna be able to console about death to other Sims, or cope positively with grief by doing creative or productive activities while in the grieving process. Okay, I love this so much. So when your Sims are at a funeral, they're going to be able to offer awkward sympathies, or they can offer a sympathetic joke. So with funerals, they're going to be very customizable, just like weddings. So here's hoping they actually work properly. But we're going to be able to choose who attends, who the deceased is, select a dress code and color for the guests to arrive in. You can also pick a variety of 14 different activities. 14! And you can determine the location and time. So some of the activities are going to include giving a lighthearted eulogy, lighting candles, planting something, or serving food. But there's 14 of them, you guys, so I'm so curious what the other ones are. And sometimes the ghost Sim will actually appear at their own funeral. So you're going to be able to set up memorial displays with a portrait of the deceased, which we did see, selecting which urn or tombstone they want. You can decorate a gravesite, leaving them a message on a special memorial statue. And I think that is pretty much all we know so far, at least in this current moment when I'm filming this. When it's up, I don't know if we have learned more by that time, so I guess we'll see, but comment down below what you're most excited for. Anything else you've noticed? I am so excited. I cannot believe how many features we already know already. The descriptions actually feel so full, and that's why I really wanted to do a video on them, because I just feel like, you know, talking about them like this really kind of opened my eyes to, oh my goodness, this is even bigger than I thought. The Sims is known for giving us like smaller expansion packs, and this time it actually seems to feel like an expansion pack. So let's cross our fingers. I cannot wait for the gameplay trailer, and also in the trailer it says to be continued in the reveal trailer at the end, and so I'm pretty sure the story is just going to continue in the gameplay trailer, and I love that. I don't think we ever really get a reveal trailer where there's that big of a story. Well, we definitely have, you know, we get stories a lot in trailers nowadays, but have we ever gotten one where the story like continues? You know, the reveal trailer like showed us a whole story happening like really fast, and the reveal trailer was 3 minutes long, and so I'm just like, oh my god, can you give me like a 4-minute gameplay trailer? That would be incredible. But I'll take 3 minutes just like the reveal. That's completely fine. But yeah, hopefully the gameplay one is also around 3 minutes and, you know, we find out more about the whole story. I am so curious. Before you know it, it's going to be time for the gameplay trailer. So I did not expect this video to be even this long. That just goes to show how much there really is to read and go through, and like everything I wrote down, I was just like, okay, this is crazy. The amount of features, I didn't like write down, I didn't count them, but I think I'm going to do that after this video so that I actually have an idea of how many features we already know about. So with that, you guys, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.
Simple minds. I guess we'll take it one